That's right.
All right. This is the 5 on 5 podcast presented by directmusicservice.com and Nuke's Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
Shout out to Direct Music Service. Shout out to Nuke's Hot Sauce. We got to re-up. We say it every week. We have to re-up.
We do.
Use the promo code to re-up.
Yeah, use the promo code 5 on 5 at Nuke's Hot Sauce or Direct Music Service. That'll save you 30% off of your first month subscription over there. That's where we get our music. That's where a lot of DJs get their music from. That's where I send my edits. So if you want to add a bunch of bullshit to your DJ set, make sure you get my edits. Yeah, and that's my promo. That's my promo for it. But what we do around here, I am one of your co-hosts, Phenom, coming to you live from sunny tropical Portland, Oregon. Down the street from me, my main man in the streets, Jupiter Williams. Down in the belly.
Wait a minute, I'm not in the streets, man.
He's a man of the streets.
I saw you're DJing this weekend. You're in the streets.
I am in the streets this weekend, though. You're right.
Yeah, I see.
Right about that one. I see. All
right. Down in the belly of the beast is my main man. You know him, you love him, Nick Lopez, coming in hot after last night's block party over.
Ooh, got so much to talk about.
We're gonna talk about that. And today we have an absolute fucking legend. I'm so happy to get this gentleman on the podcast. I can't believe we made it happen. You know him. You saw him DJ at Puffy's birthday party. You see him at the Oscars. You see him at the Grand. You see him at every major event.
I'm out of here, man.
Travis,
exactly.
Travis, you ready? You ready, Travis? Let's go.
I don't even know if I'm ready because all right, let's go.
DJ M.O.S.
Boom, 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 boom. Yes.
What up?
Yo,
welcome aboard.
How are you living?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good. Things have been good, you know. Back outside, in the streets.
In these streets. Yeah. New York to Los Angeles. You've done it all. And we definitely want to talk about that today because you've seen some shit. I can guarantee you've seen some shit out there in your years of being in this scene. First of all, since this is the first time you and I are talking, what does M.O.S. stand for?
Those are my initials. So my name is Masood Obana Semple. So it's a Swahili. Masood means fortunate and Obana means an image of my father. So, and Semple is just...
That's way cooler. That's way
named
cooler.
by a man. I'm joking.
I thought it was like money on site. Like, you know, anytime I step
it means without sound in like movies, in movie jargon.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times I do stuff with sound guys and they said, does that mean without sound? Like, because that's what an MOS stands for.
That's fucking dope. Well, that's
my last name is actually Celtic, actually, I think. I looked it up.
Oh, really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I just looked up. Yeah. There's a lot of people from that region, or Celtic, who have the last name Semple.
That's cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's way doper than anything I could have came up with. That just we're talking about
what you came up with was kind of cool.
But I didn't like it in the beginning, but it just stuck.
Yeah.
I'm always blown away by people that have the super simple DJ name, like DJ Music, and you're like, what? Like
DJ Music,
DJ Vinyl.
I'm jealous of people who can use like their actual name, like like a Mark Robson or like
a Nick Lopez.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Nick.
Right.
Your friend Mark Ronson, no big deal. I saw that clip the other day. Your actual friend. Shout out to you. I want to get into all your stories.
Yeah, really.
I want to get into all these stories. What we do around here every week, we compare two artists head to head, their top 5 songs as viewed most popular on Spotify. This week is the pick from the Las Vegas gentleman himself. Nick, what do you got for us?
I went 90s rap for us today. 90s East Coast rap.
Let's go.
We're doing Main Source versus Gang Starr.
Ooh.
Oh man,
I like it.
Okay.
And it's a good top. It's a good top.
I'm gonna have to do my
It's a good top. No good top over there.
Round 1. Live at the Barbecue versus Full Clip.
Oh, damn.
And M.O.S, since you are our guest,
So
you get to go
I just pick
first.
one.
You just pick one.
I gotta
is at the end we just tally up who got the most wins, and that's how we decide.
I gotta go live at the barbecue. I mean, Nas. What else?
Important. That's important. That's
important. I mean,
important
that's like one of the most important moments in hip hop, like the introduction to Nas.
Absolutely.
You know, when I went to jail for snuffing Jesus. Like
Nas punched Jesus in the face.
Yes.
Jesus in the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how he was introduced.
Biblical references in that verse, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He had a bunch of what?
He had a couple biblical. He said something about you better off stepping to Jehovah or something like that.
Yeah, before stepping to me, you better step to Jehovah.
Yeah.
Not this is like it's such a good introduction because you get like every little bit of Nas and what like he's going to become. You get like nasty Nas references. You're getting his biblical bars. You're getting like his kind of like quasi like political where he's talking about the lynching stuff. This is it. It
was like Rakim 2.0. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It was like
a new cadence. Trav, what do you got?
This is above my pay grade, man. So everything that you just said was amazing.
Yeah.
Let's go with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because I remember the first time I heard Jay-Z, man. That everything that y'all are saying is everything I felt when I heard Jay-Z for the first time. So yeah, I'll go with that one.
Colin.
I can't argue that. And I fully came in here ready to ride for Gang Starr today off the rip.
Right.
And, I'm like, you talked me out of it. Yeah. I'm right there with Main Source.
You know what else is crazy about Live at the Barbecue is Large Pro gave Nas the first verse. Like, so on a Main Source song and a single, Nas gets the first verse. Like, who's never been on a track before.
Yeah, true. Well, they weren't working on Illmatic at that point, right?
No, this is before Illmatic. This is before he had an album. This is before anything.
Damn.
Which is crazy because I didn't realize it until like later when I got into like album credits and stuff like that. Like Illmatic has hella producers on it, including Large Professor. So like, it's not like your typical like debut album of some dude that just lives in a project and him and his homeboy made an album. Like he's got like Q-Tip on there. He's got, I think, Pete Rock. Like he's got like every big New York producers on there.
Yeah, Premier,
Primo.
Yeah,
yeah.
Everybody's Nas had such a buzz in like during that time because I remember I was watching this documentary on Nas and Illmatic on Amazon. But yeah, he had such a buzz that like a lot of guys just wanted to be on the album.
Yeah, like they knew it was going to be a classic.
They knew who he was. Yeah, Q-Tip, they knew who he was. So they're like, we need to be on this album.
What a trip! Like that's crazy. Shout out to Large Pro and Main Source. That's crazy. Round 2, Looking at the Front Door versus Work. Anybody can jump in on this one.
Shit.
Hold on.
I'm going Gang Starr on this. That's I can just always listen to Work.
Yeah. I gotta go with Work. That reminds me of and1 mixtapes. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Looking Out the Front Door. I'm sorry, like that just has there's a certain moment in my life when I was listening to that record came out, and it always brings you back to that era. You know what I'm saying? Work for me was like I guess college, which incredible record. I still love playing that record, but I think Looking Out the Front Door, that sample is like incredible.
That's an ill one.
Main
Source doesn't get. Oh.
Nopa Slaps. Nopa Slaps has just arrived.
It's Girl Scout cookies. But yeah, looking at the
I think the sample is Donald. I think it's Donald Byrd. I think this sample.
Yeah. What's that drum sample?
Let me see the drum sample. I'm just gonna go to who sample. I'm not gonna try and like play it and guess. Number crunch.
We're allowed to go on the web. It's not cheating, right?
Yeah, we can cheat. It's not. Yeah, so it's Donald Byrd's Think Twice.
Right.
And that's crazy. I just bought that record.
Did you really?
Oh no, that's Stepping Into Tomorrow. I had that one. I had the YouTube cover is a different album, Caricatures.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a good like re-edit of Think Twice. It's just dope because it just sounds dope. I wish somebody would do like a house kind of cool house edit of that.
That would be cool. There's Third Guitar, Baby Don't Cry is a sample on there. You're Getting a Little Too Smart by the Detroit Emeralds and
That's the drum. That's the drum sample, yeah.
The Detroit Emeralds.
Yeah, because I think that's the same sample. That's the same drums from Incarcerated Scarfaces.
Oh yeah. Look
same
who
drum.
it is.
Nope.
What up? It was very own.
If you're listening but not watching, Nopa Slaps has just joined us into the dojo. Nopa's DJing up here this weekend. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Hell yeah. We gotta get it. Yeah, round 3. Faking the Funk versus Above the Clouds. It's crazy. This matchup is kind of dope because like usually we're at the mercy of Spotify and it gets a little weird.
This one is on.
But this is like just all their hits.
Because these guys are.
I'm gonna go with Above the Clouds. Like that. I'm not gonna say that's my favorite Gang Starr record, but it could be. I mean, Inspector Deck just kind of destroyed that.
The unsung hero of the clan.
Exactly. But he really showed out on that. I think that record really kind of made people who didn't know who he was realize how good he was, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. It's kind of a toss-up for me. I could go either way, but I'll go with Gang Starr on that.
Faking the Funk for me, the horns.
That horn sample. What's up?
I don't know who sample was that. Whoever sampled that was. Those horns are fire.
Large Pro.
Hold
on.
Nopo, what you got?
Above the Clouds. Easy.
Above the Clouds this year.
In your area code. Yeah. Hell yeah. 4?
Yeah, round 4. I'll just say it, and then when Trav gets back, I'll let him know again. Round 4, we have Just Hanging Out versus Mass Appeal.
Oh, Mass Appeal.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't go against Mass Appeal.
No.
Trav, Just Hanging Out versus Mass Appeal.
Mass Appeal.
Yeah.
Mass Appeal. Yeah. Hands down.
Nopa.
Yeah, same.
Sweep.
Yeah, it's a sweep. And last round, Snake Eyes versus Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth, man.
Yeah, Moment of Truth. That is that song is just so emotional. It's dope, man.
That's an anthem. That's like,
yeah.
If you had to like make a mixtape to show an alien like what hip hop music is, who like comes down to earth and he's like, what is rap? That song is on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that a sweet Moment of Truth, everyone?
Oh yeah,
Trav?
hands down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's an easy. This was a good matchup, though.
I
don't want to discredit this matchup because this is good.
I forgot about Mass Appeal. I don't know why.
About Mass Appeal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dope.
Mass Appeal is like,
I don't know why.
That's a b-boy anthem, so it's just a song that has been circulating in my life for the last like 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's sneak into the lightning round because we did have Gang Starr on here before, and I want to start with that. This is for M.O.S. only. This is the lightning round. You pick a this or a that. You can only keep one of them. The rest you have to you can only keep one of the two. The other you have to delete from your Serato, and you can never listen to it ever again.
You're giving me anxiety right now. I don't delete anything.
It's like,
Starting with Gang Starr or Steely Dan.
Shit. You fucked me up with that one. Gang Starr. Steely Dan is like deleting like my childhood, like my dad, because I kind of like so I started DJing. My dad's really into music, so I used to play all that. But Steely Dan was one of his favorite bands. But my dad did not like hip hop, so fuck it. We're gonna delete Steely Dan.
Laying the hammer down. Mace or Drew Hill?
Drew Hill.
Let's go.
Ashanti or Sierra?
Sierra.
Foxy Brown or Lil Kim?
Kim.
Cypress Hill or Public Enemy?
Cypress Hill.
Beastie Boys or Run DMC?
Beastie Boys.
Rick James or Childish Gambino?
Childish Gambino.
Woo!
I love Atlanta too. I do. And I love his music, but yeah.
Hell yeah. Big L or Big Pun? That's a New York ass question for you.
That's a New York question. Big L.
Okay. The Roots or NERD?
Jesus Christmas. That's a tough one too. The Roots. I'm sorry. I love Pharrell, Nerd, the Neptunes.
That's fair. Queen or David Bowie?
Queen or David Bowie? Delete for my Serato.
Oh, you're doing the I can't. I just caught on.
He's
You're
doing the opposite.
doing-
Yeah.
You're picking the delete. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, delete for my Serato. Queen or David Bowie? Bowie.
Zap or Gap Band?
Zap.
Travis Scott or Future?
Future. It's curveball. Future.
Justin Timberlake or Usher?
Timberlake.
3 6 Mafia or Wu-Tang Clan?
3 6 Mafia. That's easy.
Sade or Aaliyah?
Aaliyah.
TLC or SWV?
TLC.
Ooh.
Sorry, TLC. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Either way is good on that one, I think.
Yeah, I gotta go with the East. I gotta go with,
Everybody keeps TLC, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love SWV.
Yeah. Missy or Busta?
Jesus. I gotta say, Jesus. That's tough. This is gonna be actually out in the public space, and I'm
You going Missy on that?
I'm going Missy, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
Missy.
Pac or Biggie?
Pac. My wife's gonna kill me for saying that too. She loves her some Tupac.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Ooh. Oh shit. I'm gonna say Prince. Now, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Huge Michael Jackson fan. And my wife's a huge Prince fan. Like huge. And we used to get into like knockdown fights. No, seriously, it's like a thing. Like we get really emotional and like we get into a fight. So we just don't discuss it anymore.
Bring her in here. Let's get it going.
She's not coming here, but like, yes. Yeah, she used to play for Prince. She was actually one of his DJ.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I just heard a very funny Prince story the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shout out to our buddies, the Road Podcast.
Oh, shout out.
They just had their holiday get together, and I was at that. And Mel Starr was there. And he said that he was playing in New York at Limelight, which is a club that used to be a church. And he's playing on the upper level, and he plays He's playing records. This is back in the day. So he's playing records, and he plays like a Prince bootleg. And this big motherfucker comes up to the booth. And he's like, "You got to take that off. He doesn't like that you're playing that." He's like, "Who is he? Like, what do you mean he doesn't like it?" And the big motherfucker says, "It's Prince." Like, he points over there, and Prince is over there. And it's his security guard running up on him. He takes the record, just whack, just needle on it, everything, just rips it off and fucking breaks it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Just broke it right in front of him. He's like, and nobody came to my rescue. He's like, security didn't do nothing.
Yeah, it's Prince. He changes the whole mood.
Prince,
like he's very particular about what he listens to.
He does not like bootlegs of his shit. Like, no DJ edits, no nothing.
Yo, Prince the record breaker.
Yeah. He got went and smashed that record.
Yo, that'd be a dope nickname for Prince the record breaker.
Prince the record breaker. So yeah, that was Mel Starr's Prince story that he told the other night. And I was like, oh my God.
That's aggressive, man. But that's Prince for you. Good at basketball, great at roller skating.
Has no problem with sending someone to smash a fucking record.
Yeah. All the above. We like to ask this around here as the last question of the lightning round every single week. Outkast or Hall & Oates?
Oh my God. It's another one. Jesus. How I'm feeling. This is a day-to-day thing for me, I guess, would be I'm gonna say Outkast.
Okay.
Love me some.
Nice.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer to that. It's just a difficult question.
It just feels so dirty to say that.
And
I was like, damn, should I said that?
Outkast has been on a winning streak with that one lately, though.
Yeah.
Every DJ is like, yeah, Hall & Oates is dope, but Outkast it. Like,
So Outkast is my shit, but Hall & Oates, come on, like.
I feel like they have just as many good songs.
I mean, they have so many hits.
Yeah.
Private Eyes and Kiss on My List is one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's not easy to pick between the two, man. Have you DJ'd for anyone of Outkast being in the club, Big Boy or Andre?
No, I don't think. No, I've never DJ'd for anyone from Outkast. I don't really like. Yeah, I've never DJ'd for anyone from Outkast or either Big Boy or Andre. But yeah, that would have been dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get into that because
I feel like they pulled up to a lot of like New York clubs back then. I mean, especially Dre, like, you know.
Oh yeah.
I always feel like Dre was up in the club like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Big Boy being in the club with Dre chilling.
Yeah, Big Boy definitely probably the club.
Yeah.
You were now. When did you start DJing? What year?
I started DJing 1994, 95.
Okay.
So high school.
You saw the big pop as far as New York rap. You saw.
So you were around this with Bad Boy.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I grew up in White Plains, well, Queens and in White Plains, which is like Westchester County. So like when I was in high school, it was, you know, the Locks were putting out the Warlocks mixtapes. So I have like me and my boy DJ Sus One, who's on Power 105. He's he lived around. We went to the same high school. And he lived like right down the street from me. So like I remember like I would go to his crib and like borrow records, and I remember him like us playing like, what's the name of it? Locks put out like these white label records. I forget the name of the damn record. But this is right before they signed to Bad Boy. So like that whole thing, Mary J. Blige recorded. She was discovered in the Galleria, so again in White Plains, right down the street from me. So I grew up during that whole era. Yeah. So the whole Bad Boy thing kind of pop, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was cool because if you listen to Hot 97, like you listen to Funkmaster Flex, like he used to play at this club called The Tunnel, and everything would happen in that club. Like that was like basically Live on Sundays in like, you know what I mean? So all the major artists performed there, and and then on Monday, it was a Sunday, so on Monday night he would talk about like what happened. So I used to always want to go, and I remember getting a fake ID and like rolling up there on a Sunday. I got in like twice, but it was like, but the 2 times I got in, I saw it was Eric Sermon and Too Short perform "Buy You Some."
Oh wow!
So like a Rolex, like a diamond Rolex, on stage, like with the lights, with the. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, but it was a dangerous spot. It was just felt like it was like got people in there with guns. It was wild.
Damn.
Like, yeah, you could get fucked up in there, but.
At that time, Wu-Tang was on the radio nonstop. Was that was business as usual?
Yeah, Wu-Tang, like right after they popped, like right after like Enter the 36 Chambers came out, that kind of changed everything, you know? I mean, they just like everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Like during that time. And then when Rain Ghost dropped their album, when Cuban Links dropped, that was just like game changer. Like there's this Raekwon's King of New York. Like people were passing that purple tape around like it was drugs.
Oh yeah,
you had to have it.
Damn, that's quintessential New York. That's so fucking dope.
Yeah. I remember the first time I heard the Cuban Links. I just got home from school, and my boy who lived next door to me, I was walking from the bus, and my boy was right outside. He said, "Yo, I need to play you something." And he just like went to his car. He just walked me over to his car. I was like, and he put the tape in. And we just sat there and listened to it. I was like, "What the fuck is this?
What did you just do to me?"
What was one artist that you were for sure they were going to blow up and they just never popped like that?
Let me think. I'm gonna go with a random artist. I thought Sicario was gonna pop off. Remember Sicario? He sounded kind of like Jay-Z, and I think Angie Martinez was like pushing him, but he had a couple joints. He had a joint called that was like really big in New York. Tracy Lee also. Tracy Lee with
Tracy Lee.
That record was
party
huge.
Time.
Yeah, I still play that.
Oh, it's party. Yeah.
Live stream. It sounds incredible. That's a huge record.
Love that song. I love that song. Man.
Yeah.
That's a good tune, man.
Yeah.
That's a good tune.
Tracy Lee.
That's a name you don't hear.
Yeah,
no.
Nobody's coming up requesting that. But if you play it, it won't clear the dance floor. I think you'd be just fine. You'd be just fine.
I'm surprised Troy Ave hasn't popped.
No, for real.
Troy Ave is one of those that was on the edge like that Tracy Lee.
I think that whole incident down at the
what was it? It was at a award show, right, or something, or the festival.
Or something.
Yeah.
That kind of slowed him up, I think.
Yeah,
but he's still putting out music. He still says records. I've seen him. I've been with him up in the club a couple times. You know, so he's still trying to do his thing.
Yeah.
What was another one? Red Cafe.
Red
Cafe's a writer though, right? Doesn't he do all his stuff?
Had that track, I'm ill.
Yeah. He's writing a lot of stuff for
Usher. Yeah, Usher too, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
He had a huge buzz as well.
We talked about it last week. We got to mention it again. Shine was on that trajectory where it was just lights out.
Yeah, I think Shine would have made it. I think Shine would have popped.
Yeah,
I mean, he was really popular. He would have that album was dope. He had a couple joints on that album.
Man, Shine would have put a couple people out of business, I think.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of people who might not, like he just would have taken the space of someone else.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Shine he had 2 big hits like right off the bat.
Yeah.
He had the Barrington Levy one.
Bad Boy.
And then he had the
Jimmy Choo's.
Yeah. He was ill.
With the other regular artists he had to join with the Grace Jones sample joint. What's it called?
Oh yeah, yeah. That
Barrington
was.
Levy? No, he had two Barrington Levy records. That was because that was Bad Boy,
Bad Boys
and
and Bonnie and Shine.
Shine.
Damn, that's Gangsta. That was that year too.
Word.
Not my favorite track, but it was. I remember it being a big single.
Yeah.
What was the club like when Bad Boy was just clearing all those samples? When you're just like, because there was no lawsuits at that time. So Puff is just coming up with these ideas like, hey, we're gonna flip don't push me. I'm coming out, like everything.
I didn't start DJing nightclubs till 2001. So I started DJing. I was kind of just in my bedroom collecting records, playing around. Like I would do, I think I did like one of my boys, like his sister's birthday or some shit, like where I had like One Crater Records, and I took my stereo and kind of rigged it to my mixer.
That's exactly how I was doing it.
That's what I was doing pre 2001. But I used to go out. I used to sneak into clubs when I was in high school and go to one of the main clubs I would go to was a ton. Like Saturday night was what I would always get in. Friday, Saturday nights. It had like a hip hop basement. So they would have like the main warehouse, which is like you see in Belly, which is like house music. Sundays hip hop. So Friday, Saturdays like Jonathan Peters, Armand Van Helden, and downstairs would be like Riz and Scissorhands.
Insane.
God.
Insane.
Yeah, so I didn't even really know who they were at the time, but I'd go downstairs to the basement. They'd be playing like "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See" just came out, or Benjamin's. I mean, when those records would drop, it was a different kind of energy. Yeah, like it's not like it is now. When the new record comes out, it's like a different. Like you start, like people would be like rioting in the club, like jumping up and down and pushing. It was just crazy.
Well, music wasn't as accessible. Like you had to go out and buy it or hope it came on the radio and you caught it to tape it to hear your song.
Yeah.
And man, like I wasn't in the club, but like I remember the feeling of being like, man, I really want to hear my favorite song and I just can't.
Yeah, like on the just on the radio,
Yeah, like you just had to wait.
It was Lex used to do this. I remember when the Benjamins and Daytona 500, like Daytona 500 wasn't out yet, and the Benjamins come out. I remember Flex used to tease Daytona 500 and not tell people what it was.
The Ghost one,
the Ghostface Killer joint. Yeah. So he'd play the Benjamins, and then he would just like at some point just like drop in the Daytona 500 beat. And you'd be, what the fuck is this? And then you'd be like, where can I find this? Like, you don't know. He's not saying anything about the record. Yeah. He's just like randomly playing, and you're like, what the fuck is this record? And I remember one day, like my boy found the promo record of the joint, and like I felt like I found like the Holy Grail. You know what I'm saying? Like you were like,
I found the Funk Flex song.
Yo,
like where do you go out and where do you find that? Like, where would you go and like dig for something like that?
Rock and Soul. In New York, it would be Rock and Soul. Like for me, like I know a lot of people go to. House of Oldies is those are old classic stuff, but for hip hop, Rock and Soul. So Rock and Soul would have like on upper section would be all the regular joint releases, and then underneath they'd have like bootlegs. So if you go and say pull out the bootlegs and stuff, and they'll have all the joints on them exclusive. I still have some of them joints in storage somewhere.
Damn.
I'd love to go through a lot of joints on that I don't think ever came out or records never popped.
Yeah.
It's funny when you hear a song like that and you're like, and not like Daytona, because that obviously was huge, but like you're saying a song that didn't pop, like you may have heard it and be like, oh, this is going to be crazy. And then it just doesn't go crazy.
Yeah.
Different versions of records like Foxy Brown, what's it called? I'll Be. I think like the Vanity Six, Nasty Girl sample.
No,
I'll Be.
That's Renee and Angela.
Yep.
No. Yeah, there was a
But the other version.
Oh, the other version was it?
That's crazy. I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I think it's on a clue tape somewhere. But Foxy Brown, I think it's I'll Be was the original sample they used was Nasty Girl from '86.
Damn.
That's
Yeah.
wild. And what's
Yeah,
funny is like in my mind, I'm like, I thought I'll Be was just made for the Renee and Angela sample because I'll Be Good.
I could be, but I could be quoting this wrong. It might be something. But there was a record with Foxy Brown with the Nasty Girl sample.
That just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but I want to say it was I'll Be.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When Clue was doing that huge run, when Hollaback Youngin and all of that was at the top, was Fab looked as the king of New York at that time?
Oh no, I don't think he was a king in New York at that time. He was definitely like the next up and coming because that first album. So that's around the time I started like doing clubs.
Yeah.
My boy Sus Wum. So like you play like a Fab set from that album. You know, Gang Starr, you know, I Can't Deny It.
Monsters.
But also was all those Neptune's production.
That part too. And I know you're a huge Neptune's fan too, so I do want to talk about that. That bridge was VA music, was Clips and all that getting that love in New York?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that would just bring off.
Huge.
Yeah.
Grinding was huge.
Damn, man.
Was because they had like a New York remix of Grinding. I swear.
Yeah, they did.
Like with everybody on
it. That's crazy.
Our remixes, they kind of make a record too busy. If it's a good song, it just makes it busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was the era of the remix too.
Yeah. New York was famous for that.
Everybody had a remix. If a song had a hit, you had to have the remix.
Yeah. Last week we were talking about One Blood and how that just went on forever. Like,
yeah, because then they just got every blood rapper on a song. Or Welcome to Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta had every city.
Yeah,
and they did like the city version. They had Murphy Lee.
That was a good one. Because no matter what, so whatever city you're in, you just play that verse.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't have a Las Vegas verse.
Who would have done it?
Who would be on that?
Get Neo to sing on it.
Yeah, get Neo to sing on it.
Oh my god.
We don't even claim him.
No.
Because he doesn't claim us. So we.
That's wild, right?
Yeah. So we could have got I don't know who's Dizzy Wright. Oh. He's the only one, but he wasn't popping back then.
God, that's another name you don't hear. Was Flex running those songs in New York at that time? Were DJs dropping the hot single 2, 3, 4 times in a night, or was it just one and done?
Yeah, you definitely dropping records like multiple times. Like I remember, like 50 Cent in the club's perfect example. Like when I drop, you would play it 4 or 5 times. Like, you probably play like 3 times in a row, and then go on to you going through your set, and then play it again a couple times, and then play it. It was that.
Wow, fuck, man,
that's crazy. What a time! Now DJs are like, I play for 7 hours, and I never repeat.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
It's so funny to be like, I had to play that record 3 times in a row,
and it rang off on the 3rd time. It was still just like.
People come into the club to hear the new shit.
Mm-hmm.
They hear this record on the radio. Like they don't. There's no Spotify or You know?
And it's true. Like because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. Like music isn't easy. It wasn't as easily accessible back then. Yeah. And if you think about like the average music listener, like they're repeating the song in their car. I guess back then, if they had the tape, like they're rewinding it so they can hear it again. So like, why not do it in the club?
Also, like even DJ wise, like there's only a certain amount of records that they would release. So I remember In the Club came out on a Thursday or Friday, and I think it dropped on the radio early that week. But then you had to go to the record label to get the promo. So the record went off so fast. Like so, I remember I was interning at Electra Records, and I went down to Shady trying to get the record. Couldn't get the record. I got a DJ on this DJ, I think Friday night or Saturday night. And I was like, yo, we have to get the song. If you don't have this record, you should not show up to your gig.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Went to Rocket Soul last minute, and like I remember it was like pandemonium in there, like packed with DJs just trying to get the record. And one of my boys who worked there held one for me, one copy.
What?
I feel like if we run this back, we got to stop the club. Like,
no, stop the music and just
stop it. You got to get on the mic and just talk shit while you drop the needle.
Exactly.
Wow.
Those are the days, man.
At that time, were you running into like Stretch and Bobbito? Was that a thing?
I wasn't running into during that time. Early in my career, no, because I was DJing like Big Show. Yeah. But I was going out to clubs in the city, so I go to like Planet Hollywood with Derek Corley and that, and what's other spots like Spa, which used to have all like the dope DJs. So that'd be like Mark Ronson, Eric LePaul.
So you started playing out at like 2004. When
I started playing out like I was opening for Sus from like 01 to like 03, 02.
Okay.
And then I got my first residency, I think around 02, 03.
Okay, so that's when you started that's when you were in the clubs.
Yeah, because when I was interning for Elektra for a couple years after college, and then they signed Mark Ronson. They had Mark Ronson signed.
Fresh.
So, I don't know who he was, but I had to I was worked in the promo department, rap promotion and shit. So I had to service all the DJs. So at that time is when I would start to figure out what the hot clubs were. I had to call DJs up. I remember calling Rockticon up one time. He was like, "What the fuck is this?" He became cool. So he told me to come by Spa, and I went by Spa. He was doing they had a breakdance. They had a room with where the floor would light up.
Oh wow!
They breakdance and shit. And so I remember going to the club, giving him records, and then I think either Eric LePaul or I think actually Stretch may have been playing that night. I had to service him records. So that's where I met a lot of guys. But following Mark Ronson around when he was promoting his albums, where I figured out I could do this. This is what I want to do.
That's dope.
He was playing Shaka Khan and Ying Yang Twins and Puff and Madonna and Michael. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to play in a club. I don't want to play just straight hip hop all night.
True open format, full reach. Format,
yeah. I was having fun doing 18 to party, 21 to drink parties, because the music that was coming out during that time was amazing. But there was so much more that I wanted to play in the club that I couldn't. I felt I couldn't. When I started following Mark and started going to these other clubs and listening to Eric LePaul, Beverly Bond, I was like, oh yeah, this is better. This is flyer.
I have a couple questions about that era, because obviously now we're inundated with song requests. Was that the same back then, or people just shut the fuck up and let the DJ do his thing?
I think a lot of clubs, the DJ booth wasn't accessible to people.
Mm-hmm.
When I really think about it, a lot of DJ booths weren't in big clubs, or it was hard to get into the DJ booth to even request a record. Because I remember when I would have to give DJs records, I'd have to climb fucking ladder with the joint.
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of when I first turned 21, and I would go because I started working in clubs as soon as I was old enough in Las Vegas, and even out here, the older clubs, the DJ booth is in the back of the room, ducked off in a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So it's just a thing cut out so where they can see the club, but you don't actually the vantage point and the star of the show was not the DJ, it was the venue.
Exactly.
Bring that back.
Yeah, please.
It's just cool. So you could go to the club, even Excess to this day, now it's their light room. That's where they all their AV techs are. But that was the DJ booth. And so it's you're walking down the entrance and next to the stairs is the DJ booth, so he could see the whole dance floor. But if you were just at the club, you would have no idea where that was coming from.
Yeah,
that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's interesting, because also I don't ever remember a manager coming up and saying, "Can you change the music?" or
because they probably forgot you were there too.
You either were fired at the end of the night or not.
Yeah, that's it. Either you're here next week or you're not.
Also, if you were playing on vinyl, during that era in a club, like you're definitely are good enough to like understand. Like I feel everyone's trusted during that time.
Gotcha.
Like there were no real bad DJs.
Yeah.
I can't remember bad DJs back then.
Yeah.
That's true. Because you're playing
It's like
vinyl, like
a little hole in the wall Lower East Side and DJ being fucking incredible.
Yeah.
you just were either dope or you weren't, like on wax. Like,
Well, because you mentioned it, you had to pay dues. You opened for 2 years for some, like
Right.
there was that thing where it wasn't just like, hey, this guy has 17 kids that are going to show up tonight. Go ahead and put them on.
Yeah.
It was like, no, this guy was maybe carrying crates, or this person, was putting in the work and putting their money behind these records to actually practice them and be able to have them and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of records. Like to do a party, you need at minimum 3 crates of records.
So
how were you guys doing that? How
me
are
and
you
Colin
guys
were just having this conversation.
Yeah. If you're playing doubles, it's like it's like 5, and then like if you really want to be dope, like I'd bring like 6 like metal crates and like 4 bags. I'd bring everything.
And then
how many records is that then? For everybody listening.
How much is a crate? Crate holds
60.
60
records.
records.
50, 60.
Depends how tight.
So you're looking at like 200.
I'm terrible at math for some reason.
200, 250 records.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
About 250.
Yeah.
That's what me and Colin were just talking about the other day, because we were talking about New York DJs back then. We're like, what were y'all just carrying crates on the train? Like, because y'all didn't drive.
I drove.
He said, fuck y'all. I drove.
Every night. She'd be pissed. Drove. No, guys would take cabs.
Oh shit. Okay.
It was always a chore to get your records to play, especially like I remember when it would like snow. That was the worst. And then, like if you're like not opening for yourself, having to pull up when the club is like busy and like double park outside and have your trunk open, it was a lot. You got to bring people with you. 100%. Like it was always a chore to bring records in. I remember trying to get my girl at the time to carry like a bag or some shit.
Anything, please.
Please.
Showing
Like,
up to the club sliding.
We can do it.
Oh,
that's how I got into a lot of clubs in high school, is carrying records for the DJ homies. I didn't have a fake ID. I was just carrying records.
It's the best way to do it. It's the easiest way to do it.
And then Serato came out and you're like, I'm not going back.
Serato came out and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just wait till I'm 21.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to like really start using Serato. But I remember I brought it out one night. No, I had it. My boy showed me it and I was like, oh, this is dope. But I was still using my records. I remember one night I was DJing this club PM. It was like it was my first like big like residency in New York. Like it was a really major spot. And I had my records with me and I plugged in the Serato. And for some reason, my needle was like not reading. Something was fucked up with my needle. So I decided to try the Serato out. And I just had the shit on all. I just started playing it and like had the best night I'd ever had. It never looked
Did you meet AM at that time? Is that when you DJed with him?
No, I met AM. As an intern at MTV for like a year. And I remember like I was researching DJs. I was like obsessed with DJing. So I was like, I wanted to DJ a nightclub. So I remember finding out about him through a mixtape he did, like called Holla Back with Raisins. It was a Samantha Ronson promo tape from Rockefeller. So he did the mixtape and it was like crazy cutting and scratching. He also did a Cornerstone mixtape that was really dope. So I remember like saying, okay, I want to check him out. So he was in New York for like I think it was a Fashion Week party. So rode to the party. Cypher Sounds was downstairs. AM was upstairs. So I walk in and on his floor was literally like 2 people. Downstairs, upstairs was 2, because no one really, I don't think people like knew who he was. So I went upstairs, like it was one of those booths you have to climb. So I climbed the ladder, went upstairs. He had a bunch of like records. He was using vinyl at the time, so he had a bunch of records, like crates behind him. And I just sat there and watched it. I was like, holy shit, this is the best DJ I've ever seen. He's played a lot of those mashup records. I think he got them from like San Francisco or some shit. The ones with like the devil on the joint. It would be like a Missy Elliott over like AC/DC, some shit like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so
Or
he's
like
played a
those
bunch
rerun type records.
Yeah. She's playing those records, and I was like, yo, you're the best DJ I've ever seen. Like, so he gave me his info, and like, I'll just kind of check him out when he's in New York. Yeah. And then he had a residency at Central Fly with Stretch and Mark.
Damn.
Yeah, he took over. Like when he would come in town, everybody would go see him.
Yeah.
What was the timeline of that? Did it take like a year, or what would you say it was quicker than that?
I would say, so I think I first started hearing about him like 2004, I think. I want to say 2004. And then he was like popping like 2006, 2007, at least 2007. Because I was played at Stereo, this club opened in called Stereo, and they had him as a resident. Like he was there once a month. And they would have Stretch and all like the hot DJs during that time. Like I think Sky Neller was popping during that time. Clark Kent would come play. But Aaron would come once a month, and it would be crazy packed. Like everybody would come to see him. And he was doing like 3 clubs in a night. I remember he would do like Lotus, Marquee, and some other spot.
That's wild.
Standing there just watching him. The thing is, DJs would be like standing there just watching him play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a spectacle.
What was the price difference for DJs at that time compared to now? What was the average DJ getting paid to play an open to close in New York?
If you're playing like a mainstream, like a hot club in New York, I would say you're getting like for the night, maybe like 6. Probably get 6 for the whole night, which is pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
that is pretty good.
It might be less now. It might have actually gone down since then.
Yeah.
That's down playing the whole night. But this is not even, this is you're kind of like the guy, and then but they're bringing people and pay them thousands of dollars. But clubs had money. I remember Stereo giving like 800 cash.
Woo! Run it. Yeah. That's what's up. Hell yeah. But you were also taking your crates in, and you were doing the legwork. And
but this is the beginning of the Serato era. I think.
The beginning of Serato, yeah.
Were you reluctant when you first saw Serato? I know my OG, when he started switching over, he was like, okay, this is cool, but like, I'm still bring my records to the club. There was a lot of like, I don't want to be looked at like corny or like, and then when he started bringing it, he's like, I'm gonna bring a crate just in case.
And there's a lot of those DJs that had like their records that they were like, yo, I'm just gonna play my records, but if I don't have that record, I have Serato.
It was like an emergency thing.
Yeah.
Like Serato was an emergency thing, like that kind of energy, until he I felt like very quickly, like once he was realized. So I wonder if a lot of other DJs who were around during that transition were like,
yeah, there were a lot of DJs that were doing that. Like,
did you feel that way? Did you feel it was like
I did bring it as like the first time I used it, like I had my crates with me, like all my crates with me. You know what I'm saying? And kind of I was using my records, and then I was like, let me just try the Serato thing because his knees are not working. But after that moment, I would still bring like a couple crates just in case, because it's a computer, it could crash,
Yeah.
And after a couple times, I was like, fuck this shit. I was kind of like, honestly, I was like, you know what? I've been playing long enough. Everybody knows what I've been doing. So like, if you have a problem with, I thought it allowed me to play records I never would have ever had.
Yeah.
I could play anything in my library.
Yeah.
And
that's
then I remember finding out like when I first started logging on to like a club's Wi-Fi, and I'd have like LimeWire up.
Just ready.
I remember $1 records on LimeWire while I was DJ to play.
You're like, let me get in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Soldier Boy again.
Boy again. God damn.
On the hook or some shit. Shout himself out.
Yeah, somebody shouts himself out on the hook.
Yeah, you're like,
I got this mixtape version. Shit.
That's the thing. Serato opened it up for people to like be able to play more be more diverse. And that's kind of how it was in the beginning. And then it kind of got, you're playing the same set over and over and over and over. Like I fell into that trap early. I was just playing the same shit over and over and over.
Just go into that one crate. And I think we're all guilty of it now. Yeah. You know, you see a crate, you save the crate, you're like, yo, this blew the bricks off the room. Let me run that back next week or whatever, you know, and like it's tough having access to so much music and you end up just dabbling from your own little pond over here from the same songs over and over. If it works, it's a lot of DJs are taking less chances now because they go, oh, I won't lose the room because they know this song, you know. And it's like, it's tough, man.
That's interesting. I feel like that's more often what it is these days. Like I think you have access to everything.
Yeah.
Whereas before that was an option, you saw, or at least it felt like DJs were more open to playing like how we're talking about Mark Ronson being like a true open format DJ, going from this to that and the third. But now that Serato is a thing and it's like digital DJing is in the culture, like that's what DJing is basically. And people are just going with what's easy for the most part. Like open format isn't really a thing anymore. It's just top 40 R&B and hip hop.
And it does come with the environment too, though, right? Because you know,
still, I think the thing with open format DJing is, I think what you're saying, Nico, is like people aren't taking chances because they don't feel like they have to. I think that the crowd would respond if more people did it. I think that, like, again, the issue is that, like, I don't think people are like digging. I think people are, you know, relying on certain playlisted record pools to and going to the top 10 and playing the same mashups and the same edits, or not even playing mashups and edits, just making sure it has a 8-bar intro and going at it. Kind of like, not even listening to the record before they play it, go out and play. Like you just have the songs and you're playing it from the beginning and letting it rock, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The issue I ran into when I first got Serato was like, you know, I was playing a bunch of stuff that I'd never played before, and then I got a nice little crate together that you know what I'm saying? And then I just would go to that crate, and like I wasn't like really researching and going and digging on like blogs and stuff for records. And I remember when I got fired. It was the only time I ever got fired because they replaced me with another DJ. And I listened to him play, and he was like playing all the shit that I should have been playing, like stuff that I was like, oh, this is dope. Where do you get this from? Where do you get this from? So I started going online and looking up like just I forget the name of the blog. There's a bunch of different blogs used to have like ill edits and mashups of records, and just downloading those and incorporating it into the set and practicing. Like who practices now?
Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
Put something together, put a routine together.
I'll never forget the first time I asked like a DJ friend who was working when I was like trying to get, you know, the ball rolling. And he said, I don't really practice anymore. I practice when I'm out. Like the gigs are practice. That's when I play. And like, he was like, I remember him saying something like, that's going to happen to you. Once you start working, you're going to realize you don't DJ unless you're working. And then it's true. I find myself doing it. And I'm like, damn, I have to like remind myself, like, oh, I should practice. Like if I'm going to level up, you got to practice.
I think just reminding yourself to listen to music outside the club.
Because that alone.
You know, like, because we are so inundated with music. We're bombarded with it, you know, at least for 4 hours a night in the club, if not more, you know. And by the time you leave, and I don't know if you guys are the same way, I'm in silence on the way out. On the car ride home, I'm complete silence.
No music in the car after the gig.
That's the last thing I want to do is hear music. And then you have to coax yourself back in the morning. Oh, let me listen to music before I go listen to music for 4 hours.
I think it's cool, Emma, what you just said. Like, so you lost the gig, and instead of being a hater, you went and listened to the guy who took your job.
No, I got fired like the worst possible way you could get fired. Like I was there at a Fashion Week party at this club where I was a resident, and I showed up, and another DJ was there, and I called the promotions director like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, we're gonna use this guy tonight. I'm like, you made me drive here with. I was in records.
My girl's carrying records, right?
Look at all these records.
But no, I sat in the club. I sat in the corner. I literally put my bag down. I sat in the corner where no one could see me and just sat and listened to this dude open like the first hour or two. And I was like, holy shit, I'm tripping. So I just went home and literally locked myself in my room for like 4 months and just started I was working, but I was literally practicing, like working on a set and working on a routine.
That man went on to be Tiesto.
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah.
But yeah, that time I put in like really kind of changed. That's when I really started like scratching and really like, playing a lot of those records, like incorporating a lot of those records to my set, like classics and all that.
I'm curious to hear your breakdown as someone that's been DJing through many movements, through many scenes, through many iterations of this shit. What is your breakdown? Is it 2 for them, 1 for you, 3 for them, 1 for you, 1 for one? How do you view DJing?
Good question.
It's all about like, it's just a feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think like you want to get the crowd on your side. So if you get the crowd on your side early, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like if I can like if I'm like I played at Nightingale a couple weeks ago, and I remember, and I opened it for myself. Got to 11, and I remember when as soon as I started playing records, like I just felt I was in a zone. I was in a groove. You could see everybody in the room like kind of dancing. Like the club is still early. People are like kind of bobbing their heads, and I was like, okay, cool, I got it. By the time 12 o'clock hit, people are like partying. So I'm like, okay, I could kind of play what I want tonight. I remember ending the night with like a 45-minute rock set.
Woo!
Let's go.
Like, so like after you kind of like tease them during the night. So I'm dropping Beatles Come Together at one point, like Chili Peppers here or whatever, like, and seeing and they're like kind of fucking with it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'd gone through every hit record, and then I just started with Teen Spirit, and next thing I'm into Steelers Wheel and shit, and you know what I'm saying, and Bowie, and then people are still fucking with it.
When you can play Stuck in the Middle with you and not lose them, you know you got a night going. That's
like, what movie is this from?
Yeah, that's that Reservoir Dogs. You get in that vibe, and you're just
no. But I think it's all about your flow. Like, it can't come out of nowhere. Can't play. If it's a mainstream party, can't play too long. Just hit the best part and just kind of tease them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're killing it, you could kind of do whatever you want at a certain point. The crowd trusts you. But then don't take their trust for granted. Don't go off the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not AM, like AM used to, because AM used to do that where he would play like his set, like the first hour he'd play like his regular set that everyone loved, and then he would just start playing electro for the rest of the night. And we'd be like, what the fuck? But again, it's DJ M, so everyone's like, this must be the shit, I guess. Like,
what do I know? I'm just an idiot.
That is very funny. I like that take a lot, because
it'd be a packed crowd, and people would be there on the dance floor bewildered. Like, girls would be like, what the fuck is MGMT? What is this?
I love that take so much, because it's everybody's always like, yo, he could do no wrong. But I love the idea that like it's dope, but like we just went with it because it's AM. Like, we just assumed that this is good.
The thing is, he kept doing it, and then like after like a month or two, like those records started popping. And you're like, hey, like now every DJ in New York was doing open format, is doing like an electro set to start the night, and just I swear to God, Daft Punk playing in Brooklyn was because of AM. You know what I'm saying?
Brooklyn was not playing Daft Punk.
Yeah, like the Rapture's opening for them. I'm like, holy shit, I love the Rapture. Like, the Rapture was like 3 weeks ago. So,
God.
He changed. Like, he seriously changed the whole game. It was wild.
That's fucking cool.
Seriously.
I want to talk about the integration of house music and your initial reaction when you heard Armand Van Helden, and because I'm sure like at that time Flowers started to pop off and people were playing that. What was your initial thought? Because that's Chicago, that's Detroit, that's all of that, and they were bringing it over to New York. What were you thinking at that time?
I wasn't big into house music till I wasn't really. I mean, obviously, the records that you hear like so You Don't Know Me, the Armand Van Helden record, and like like Fired Up, Funky Green Dogs, and those records that would be in the club you loved, and like. But I was more of like a hip hop guy until like I started playing at PM, and one of my boys they had a house DJ, a guy Survey, still a good friend of mine, who still spins, but he used to play on the house, so. He'd jump on in the middle of my set and play house, and I just sit there and listen to his what he's playing. I was like, "Oh, this is dope." Actually, started like for me, the way I work is like I give everything a chance. So like if I let someone else jump on. If I hear like and I'm vibe and like if I like it, I'm gonna start incorporating that into my set. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so 100%. I just started like incorporating those records, and that's what really got me into playing like house music, like heavy. Like having like a good house set and like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And collect it. Yeah. I mean, dance music originated in New York. Larry Levan is, the garage is kind of like where
that's the birthplace
really have house born, because again, the stories that Frankie Knuckles, the warehouse in Chicago wanted Larry Levan to play as a resident. Yeah. I think Larry didn't want to travel to Chicago. So he told his boy Frankie, "Why don't you do it?" So Frankie Knuckles ends up going to Chicago, playing the records that they were playing at the garage in New York, which became warehouse music. Yeah. House music. Yeah, that's kind of like the story of it.
Yeah, because Frankie was hanging balloons in Paradise Garage, like he was like doing the decorations and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's like that's Larry's boy from when they were young.
So. What a trip! Like the scene is so small, even back then. Like it's just, but it just so happens that these guys were just the guys that were in it early on. So those are the gods. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the scene is still like that. Like a lot of the promoters in New York. Like I was talking to somebody about New York and the club scene. It's like all those promoters, all the people who own nightclubs in New York, and all the those older DJs, they all went to high school together. They all went to like Mark Ronson, Richie Kiva, Noah Tedberg, all those guys, Cassidy. They all went to high school together. They're playing those DJs are playing their high school parties. They just became promoters in the city and invite their friends.
Went to their DJ friend.
It happened to be like Liv Tyler and those kids that went to high school with them, which were the cool kids. And next thing you know, they have the hot night.
What a trip.
And then celebs want to come hang with them, like Puff and those guys want to come hang with them. And then now they have leverage to open their own spots. So yeah, it's definitely a small circle. Like a lot of times, like a bartender or a busboy could become like the general manager of a club in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Eventually opening their own spot. So
yeah.
Well, what did that transition look like? What was that moment for you that you were like, I've done everything I need to do in New York. It's time to relocate?
That was my wife. Shout out to her, DJ Kiss. But yeah, there's a time in New York like 6 years ago where we were like kind of just good. Like it was one of the first times like I was actually like good. Like I wasn't worried about jobs. I wasn't worried about money or anything like that. We were just kind of doing everything. And I remember she came to me. She's like, "Look, we should definitely think about moving to LA." I'm like, "Why? Everything's so amazing here. We're good. Like we're fine." Like she's like, "Yeah, but we've done everything." And so I think I started getting booked to do Playhouse in LA. So I've been coming out there like once a month and like meeting people and I had a little network of friends out there. So I think I got booked to like do a Netflix event for Golden Globes. So we were out there for like, and then my wife was like, "Let's just stay out here for a week." So we stayed out there for a week, and then she's like, "Yo, why don't we just get like a place?" So we get like apartments. So when you're out there, you've been playing in LA a lot because One Oak had opened up as well. So I had like 2 gigs out there. So why don't we start like, go to this place in LA. So I'd go to LA and I'd go to LA during the winter, and when it was winter in New York, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing?
Get the fuck out of New York.
But eventually, like, the weather and all that stuff kind of like drew me out here to LA. But again, I just thought that I'd done everything I could in New York, and like LA's a new frontier, and it was rough. It was a rough transition, I can tell you that.
Was it really?
Yeah, because I was at that time I was doing mostly nightclubs. Like I did events here and there. My wife did a lot of events, but I was doing 20%, 30% of my gigs were events. It's mostly like clubs like Live and Marquee, One Oak in New York. So to move to LA was like, they're not going to fly me back to New York to do the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My same residency that I'd take a cab to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of had to build things back up.
So how did that look? How did that transition look?
Well, it was I kind of lucked out because Tao Group moved out here and opened Avenue. So I had Avenue and One Oak as like at least a couple times a month. And then I was just out. I used to go out to everything. Like, I was doing stuff for like Netflix and shit, like those events. But I had to go out and start meeting people and start like kind of grinding again, like, which I love to do. I'm not afraid of getting my, hands dirty and just like out there just hustling, giving out business cards, talking to people, shooting people emails. You know what I'm saying?
New York, man. New York.
Yeah, that's New York. Yeah.
Yeah, when I came out here, I was just like, okay, let me just. But the thing is, people do business differently. I think. I remember someone saying, "Let's have a lunch meeting," and I came in, and they were like, and they brought a bunch of their boys, and then sitting there drinking and shit. I was like,
"No, we're literally just having lunch." That's
a
California work meeting.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get
out.
Exactly.
You were hoping to have a coffee and talk turkey.
Yeah.
They're smashed on mimosas.
Yeah.
the notebook out and shit.
First
on a Monday.
Yeah. Had 3 mollies already. Like,
So he's like, yo, I got a business idea for you.
Put it on me. Put it on me.
My man's out of his gourd, stroking the furry walls over here. Go ahead, tell me, what do you got?
I heard you're a DJ. That's cool.
Yeah. That's LA, man.
I had to get him to the Greek moment in high school at the tunnel. It's so funny. There's this room in the tunnel that the tunnel has all these different rooms, so that's why I call it tunnel. So I remember finding this room with like pink fur on the wall. This is the first time I'd ever taken I think it was ecstasy back then. This is like late 90s. And I remember taking ecstasy. And I remember being in this room that I just discovered this room. And I remember laying against the wall and the DJ's playing music. And I'm just like this for like an hour. My friends have no idea where I'm at. They're like, somebody happens to find me and they're just against the wall, like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Uh-huh. What? I don't know what I'm doing.
Just the carpet imprint on the face.
My beard and shit.
Oh my
your beard.
God. That's when the ecstasy was real ecstasy. It was that New York shit.
Yeah,
you never know what was in that shit.
Just getting a crazy press pill with a $sign on it. Just fucking. I hope it's good.
Go.
Yeah.
A concession stand in there. A concession stand with drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they reopened it, it was candy. They had candy in the concession stand.
God damn.
Back somewhere, so
that's
kids don't do drugs.
Oh, drugs.
I want to talk to you about the transition into the corporate bag, because you are the go-to guy now for these hot ticket events,
red carpet events. What was that transition? Because I know in New York you were more club oriented. Now you're the guy that's getting the call for Puffy's 50th, for the big shit stuff. What was that move?
Well, the Puff thing is my wife actually was Puff DJ for Puff like way before I did. He discovered her in like a club, which is how he discovered a lot of the guys he works with, like Cassidy. He discovered like at a club. It's the same story. He hears a DJ playing dope music. He goes into the booth, hands them his number, and tells them to call him. Next thing they know, they're flying out somewhere crazy to do a party. So the same thing happened to my wife. Playing this place Go Bar, and Go Bar was like, it was one of the best spots in New York for music. Like you could play they didn't want anything mainstream, so it's like they're playing like classic rock, disco. That's all they wanted for the whole night. So my wife was playing there, and he kind of discovered her, and then next thing you know, she's DJing his 38th birthday in Miami.
Damn.
So that's kind of like how I met him, and so she was doing parties for him for a while, and then kind of got to know me, and I ended up DJing with her, and then he started hiring me for stuff as well, and that's kind of how that happened. But the transition from clubs to corporate, it's again the same hustle. It's like you have to start going to events and meeting, the PR people and the whatever company's doing the event, meeting those people and kind of just chopping it up, that's kind of how it works. And then once you start doing events for people, it's like they don't want to think about music. They don't want to think about finding another DJ. They work with the same person for a long time. So it's kind of like once you're in, you're kind of in. And then from being in, you start building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're like an event producer, the event producer might do events for five or eight or 10 clients. And you may start doing stuff for like 3 of them. And then she might say, hey, I need you for this one. And then this client's like, oh, I love this DJ. So and they start hiring you for other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it works.
Did your New York style separate you from a lot of the other competition?
Yes and no. I would say that again, there are a lot of companies that kind of have their go-to guys. Like I know the guys who do events out here to me are like DJ Spider, that's Shell Page, and they kind of do we all do Netflix, but they do a lot more Netflix stuff than I do. But Netflix uses them over here because they're great DJs, and why would you change? Why are you going to try to change shit up? You know what I'm saying?
It's good.
Yeah, it's a one-time thing. It's not like a club where the club's open every week. Like we get one shot at this event. Why are we going to use somebody new? Right. So it's kind of something has to open up. But a good example of New York hustle is when I came out here. I remember the Oscars were on, and my wife was like, "Yo, who DJs the after party for the Oscars?" So I kind of looked it up on Instagram. I found Solange was DJing. So I was like, "Cool, let's find out who books this. We have a year. Let's see if we can kind of get it next year." So, my boy Mike Muse, who from New York, came out here and had a get together at his crib the next night. So I'm in his crib and I'm talking to a bunch of people. He introduces me to this kid, and this dude's a rapper, talking music, and I'm like, "Oh, so obviously you're not making money off of rap. So what is it that you do?" And he's like, "Yo, I'm assistant to the president of the Oscars." Okay. I was just talking to my wife about the Oscars. Solange DJ the after party. She's like, "Yeah, I'm the one who recommended her." Cool. You're gonna be my best friend.
Yeah.
You're gonna be my best friend. So just
on lunch.
Yeah, let's go. Not on some opportunist shit, but it's let's try to develop some kind of you're a cool dude as well. Let's come out to the club. Come out, hang out. Let's see, And
so
did that for
playing that at the time when you're come out to the club.
Well, I was doing One Oak, LA, Avenue. But then I was but I was also like, yo, come hang out with me. Let's go out. Like the do-over is this week. This is this Sunday. Let's go to the do-over.
Right.
I used to have like get-togethers at the house before I would play. So I'd have like little pre-parties and after parties and invite him out. Like, so we started like coming out. Yeah, me, him, and my wife became really close. And then I remember when the Oscars came around, they were planning to book Calvin Harris for the after party. And he was just like, I don't think it's a good idea. I was just like, I don't know if that's a good idea. You know, I don't see, like, he's just going to play house music, like his shit. Like, I don't think that's a party. It looks good, but I think it's like a party. And then I remember the Oscars So White thing happened. That was that year. And I remember it was literally like a week before the show. And I was like, look, I think you guys probably have a problem with this. And I think this would be a great solution. You have a husband and wife, African-American, DJ couple. This would be a good look for you guys. He pitched it like that, and we got it.
Damn, that's what's up.
Last minute, and then and we've been doing it every year ever since.
God, that's what's up.
2 years in a row. So,
man,
damn. Props to you, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Oscars, though. Yes. We are developing our DJ biopic cinematic universe, and we are also the Segway Kings. Segway Kings!
Bong, bong, bong.
Run it.
Thank you. So, with our DJ biopic cinematic universe, who is playing DJ M.O.S? And it could be anybody within the entertainment realm, dead or alive. It could be anybody within the animated realm, too.
Yeah, you could choose Bart Simpson.
You just choose whoever you want to play you in your DJ biopic cinematic.
You get Roger Rabbit that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So any actor, it's just anybody.
Yeah.
You could have the pink furry wall and tunnel playing.
You could have the wall from Get Him to the Greek.
Yeah.
More famous wall.
Yeah.
No, that's not one of my better moments.
Don't leave that one out of the movie.
I told you guys that story. We need to edit it out though. Play me. Shit, that's a really good question. I'm gonna say Chadwick Boseman. Like, I love Black.
Let's go.
Love his energy and like amazing actor. I would say Denzel. He's that's reach.
Have the young Denzel. Yeah. It could be multiple people too.
It could be multiple people.
You could do
That's true. We did have who did the multiple?
If I did a real DJ biopic, I would get like the kid who played Raekwon in the Wu-Tang.
Oh, in the Wu-Tang Hulu show.
Yeah, he's dope.
Number crunching that.
Crab knows.
let me number crunch that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of the Wu-Tang show.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was pretty good. They haven't even finished the album yet. They're on season 2.
I heard it was cool. But I don't know, like I watched like the trailer when it first like came around, and I was like, I love Wu-Tang, but I just don't know if I want to watch them like dramatize.
Definitely better than season 1, but it's crazy because because a lot of the shit that's in there is not stuff that people really know.
Right.
Like,
okay, so it's cool.
I didn't know that Raekwon shot up Ghostface crib. Like, wow. I didn't know. It was like that. Like,
I knew they didn't like each other, but I know it was like that.
No. There was like shit in there like you just didn't know. Like, I didn't know. Like, they showed how Ghostface got. You remember when he talks about how he got shot in the neck and in it be part 2. Like, that's in it.
Wow.
And the RZA were like in I forget, in North Carolina, just selling drugs and with a rival clique or some shit. Like, it was crazy. And then you get to season 2, you get to see how like the albums came together.
Yeah.
And you get to see like you see like Ghostface and Ray like kind of become cool. Like when they're like it's crazy because they're playing all the records and like the samples at, you know what I'm saying? So if you're like a real Wu head, it's dope.
Are they? So I was gonna ask the music. Did they got like releases, so they're playing like real music?
Yeah, they're playing real music.
They're real.
That's cool.
RZA is
actually rapping to the records. The guys who are actors are.
Yeah.
So
so they're because some of them are rappers.
Well, yeah,
Like wasn't Dave East in there or something? He's Method Man.
Yeah, he's dope. Dude who plays Raekwon is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
He's
Shamik Moore.
Yeah,
Great actor. Shamik Moore is Miles Morales and Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
From the Get Down. He was in the Get Down too.
And the Get Down.
That's the kid from the Get Down. So I was gonna say the Get Down. I love the Get Down, even though it was like really corny. But like I loved it. I watched every episode of it. I love the imagery and this nostalgia.
And I think,
if you're a hip hopper, that's like
they had one more. God, they had one more season in them, man.
They had one more.
They were right
Shaolin
there.
Fantastic is the illest name too.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely watch the Wu-Tang and give it a chance. Like the first season kind of slow. First season slow, but then second season up. But like again, it's really detailed.
Yeah,
like
that's
they're two rival cliques that basically make a Wu-Tang. Like Park Hill, what's it called? Park Hill and Jesus Christ. Anyway, it's two rival cliques.
Yeah.
And they like violently rival, like Bloods and Crips.
It's so weird to me how like that part of the Wu-Tang like story, because it's like, why did I gotta watch it? Because I'm still like, I never read the book. I didn't read RZA's book ever, so I was always like, why the fuck did they even get together? I mean, I'm glad they did, obviously, but
it's RZA. Well, it's RZA because RZA was kind of like the kind of
mastermind.
Yeah, he like mastermind the whole thing. I know that.
Yeah. And he had like a plan for the whole thing. So you see him making like even season 1, he's making all these beats for like Cuban Links and Liquid Swords like during that time. And he's just like, you see him making it in the beginning of the movie and like just putting it aside and writing name on the shit and just throwing it.
Is ODB's son?
ODB's son's playing ODB.
That's cool. What a trip.
Joey Badass is playing Inspector Deck.
Oh, so they got like rappers.
Yeah.
This makes so much more sense now, because I was wondering what happened to Joey, what he's been doing.
They're involved with this too, so
like
it ain't just like a throwaway series.
It's not like a Hulu bullshit show.
No, they're involved. This is
I love that. I want to know if they're gonna do the ODB dun 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 where he talks about like the song where he's building the Big Mac.
Yeah.
On the special sauce, sesame seed bun. Speaking of which.
Man, we don't stop. We don't stop. I love it.
We are putting all of our DJ friends in a position to have collaborations with fast food establishments. So you get to choose what establishment you work with. Where's the M.O.S. mill and what is it? What is your go-to fast food meal?
You can build your own.
And you can build your own now.
Fast food meal or fast food chain?
Well, you got to pick the chain, then the meal. Because this is the M.O.S. meal. This is the combo, just like
Saweetie.
Travis Scott or Saweetie.
Or Mariah Carey, who just released hers with McDonald's.
Oh, what?
Yes, and a t-shirt. T-shirt you got to order it online. Yeah, I know. I'm getting it.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I had no idea.
I had no clue.
I'm over here talking about Applebee's and Cheetos right now. We'll get to that.
Fast food. I'm a new convert to In-N-Out, man.
Okay. Welcome to the West.
Oh my God. I mean, look, I still love Five Guys. I think it's like it's more burger for your money, but In-N-Out is incredible. Animal style, fries. They need like some chicken tenders or something like that, some chicken nuggets. Like I feel like that's a food. Like, I think the chicken nuggets, the burger, the fries, Sprite. That's it.
That's it. That's good.
That's the
mustard.
Let's go.
Barbecue grill.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm getting hungry. All this food.
We're doing an early show too. I haven't ate yet.
Yeah, we are doing an early show. I got food.
I have a couple of questions I wanna tap into real quick. and we're gonna send you on your way. I don't want to keep you tied up today. I know you're a busy guy.
Actually, I have Spider-Man No Way Home 3 o'clock. So I'm like,
same. I got 7 o'clock.
Bro.
3 o'clock. I'm like, okay.
I got the 7 o'clock Screen X.
You said what?
I got the 7 o'clock Screen X.
Nice.
Screen X where it wraps around. The screen wraps around the sides. Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
We don't have one of those out here.
I couldn't get iMac.
You have.
We have Galaxy, which is like the Dolby, all the Sony stuff.
Oh, word.
But we don't have Screen X.
You have to.
Y'all got that. We had this conversation. I had to look it up because you told me about it. I was like, what the hell is that?
Have that conversation. That's right.
Well, next Friday I got the 315 to Licorice Pizza, so feel jealous.
I honestly still want to see that too.
Yes, I need to see that movie.
Yeah, it drops next Friday, and 10 theaters in the United States are showing it in 70 millimeter. So I'm stoked for that.
Yeah.
But more importantly than that, you, sir, are developing something for the screen. Tell us about Heartbeat.
Oh. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I forgot people really like put that out. Yeah. So we're doing.
You could have just said, "Oh, sorry." You could have just said, "I'm playing myself in this bio."
Yeah.
Let's
right.
be real here.
So we linked up with this production company, Landmark, and we are doing a biopic about how me and my wife met, because we're both DJs and we met in a club in New York in like the mid to late 2000s. So that's kind of where it takes place. It's gonna be like a Power meets, I don't know what a love story would be, like I wouldn't say like Love and Basketball, but it's like kind of like a Power kind of series. Mm-hmm. But what our characters are kind of like the focal point, like from our vantage point. So about us like meeting in the club and then like nightlife and during that time. So
dope.
That's awesome.
No big deal. Big deal.
Yeah, no big whoop.
Pandemic, like I mean, we'd wanted to do something for a long time. Like we'd been like approached by like reality show. We shot even a pilot for a reality show, and I kind of was like so against it because I just don't like the way they portray people. Like it's about drama, and I just didn't want to bring that into our relationship. So like we kind of held off of that for a while, and then during pandemic, we started kind of coming up with an idea, and we wrote a treatment ourselves. And got it copywritten, and then just so happens about when I live streamed this, some dude like ran a production house or had a production company and approached us. So we met with a couple different ones as well. So just not him, but he gave us kind of like the best deal. And yeah, right now we're about to start writing the pilot.
Nice,
that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, this thing gets picking up.
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking of the live stream, you mentioned it, Club Insomnia.
Yeah.
It's one thing we could all count on during the pandemic, that we will be able to groove to you in Club Insomnia. And we've all watched. All watched. And I want to give you flowers.
It's got me through many nights of my head spinning during the pandemic.
Yes.
And having no feeling of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got me through it, man. So
we've all been in there.
Yeah. We were in there.
I want to give you your flowers, and I want you to tell the listeners what Club Insomnia was to you and what it is to you right now.
It's my favorite place to play, I'll be honest with you. Like it started out as just being able to just, take my mind off what was going on, honestly, and then just the fact that people would like stay up and, and kind of rock with it. And like the response really made me like understand that like, a lot of people felt the same way, who just needed something, something to take their mind off of, everything that was going on in the world. So, my back is definitely paying for it right now. I'd never had lower back issues, but like I do that. But also, I'm the kind of DJ that like it's hard to get me off the turntables. Like, like I'm playing after people leaving the club. Like when I'm drunk, I'm just having a good time, and so it gave me an opportunity to just kind of just go for as long as I wanted. And that's kind of what happened. That's how those nights kind of came together. Like I just, like again, I love music. I love playing music for people, and I love exploring and playing music that like I never get a chance to play. and just seeing people's response, and it just made me realize, like, we have so much stuff in our crates, man. There's so much shit out there, and like a lot of us are not tapping into that. And I think that pandemic was a perfect opportunity to kind of explore all those different things, like playing jazz music, playing 50s, playing, like, just going through your catalog, like making theme nights, playing all soundtracks.
Yeah.
I learned so much about different artists during this time. Like, I remember doing a best of Stevie Wonder and just discovering Stevie records I didn't realize that were out there. Or Michael Jackson or Prince, you know what I'm saying? So that was it really kind of changed everything for me,
And not to mention the new fan base as well. You're able to reach out to people around the world that maybe you never would have been able to normally through a traditional nightclub experience.
Definitely. The Club Insomnia community is like incredible. They're so like loyal and amazing, and I talk with them all the time. Like, we're all always DMing each other, and like I think we had a meetup in LA, so I had a chance to meet everybody. And even when I travel to other cities, they come out. I have people coming out, and it's crazy because I always tell DJs, you never know who's listening, because there are a lot of people who are in the chat who don't speak, who don't, and then I'm starting to get calls from people that I didn't, be like, yo, I was rocking with you during pandemic. I was like, oh, I never saw your screen name up there, but it was really dope. It was really amazing to actually have an audience there for you, instead of like, when you're at the club, your name's not even the fucking flyer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You actually get a chance to build an audience playing the music that you love.
Yeah. Has that changed the way you approach things once you went back into the club?
Oh, 100%. I don't take the nightclub DJing in nightclubs that serious anymore. Like, I go in there and play, but I'm kind of like, we're gonna have fun. Fuck it. If I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go in here and play kind of like what I want, but I'm gonna have fun. And like, I find that I'm getting hired for more gigs than where I could get to play what I want, I think, and I'm kind of good with that. Like, I'm good with, like, I'm not playing a ton of clubs right now, which I'm cool with, because I just don't want to be back in that kind of cycle of just having to drop the new shit all the time and have people tell you what to play and this, that, and the third. Like, I've turned down a lot of shit.
It's toxic, man. I mean, point blank, period. There is a certain toxicity to nightlife in general, let alone a lot of times it feels soulless when you're up there and somebody's barking a request at you. Like, you cultivated your own path. You're like, this is my club. You're in my house now. You're going to get what I'm giving to you.
But it's weird because pre-pandemic, like, again, playing all those places, like, I didn't realize how much I was just allowing that shit to happen and not, and then I guess I didn't understand how much it was affecting me, because I don't remember when I came out of pandemic, I actually picked up every gig I could. So I was doing, everything I could. Anybody who hired me, I was playing, because I was like, I just want to get back out there and play. And, I was doing like 4 or 5 nights in a week, and I would be like, I'd be so stressed out by the end of the week and so burnt out. When I get requests from people, I'm shouting at people, and I was like, how was I doing this before? And I realized, you're in a different place. You can't, you can't, what I'm saying? You can't do it like you were doing it before pandemic. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of sad to, like, when you see DJs kind of caught up in that race again. That's that same kind of race. They're not allowed to do, be free to play what they want. But we have the opportunity to build it now.
Yeah,
we have Twitch and all these different platforms to kind of build an audience, and they're out there.
Yeah, let it be known, if anyone is second guessing it, spend one night watching your show, man, and watch the interaction from your people, because you can do you as an artist, as a DJ, and not lose the room. That's
true. And another thing I want to say about live streaming is that don't be afraid to go on and have 10 people in your room or 5 people. Just the DJ community, again, during pandemic, everyone was so, like, helpful. Everyone was so like, I felt the DJ community connected in a way I never thought it would. Like, people were raiding each other. Like, you just call people up. Like, you can hit up Scratch Bastard or these other guys, they'll raid you. Just send people your way and help you build your audience after the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the whole rating thing kind of like allowed your audience to meet other DJs, and and then the DJs would send you their audience, and you kind of like become part of the ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can meet.
It's a beautiful thing, man. In this dog eat dog scene, to have a moment like that, man, where I mean, Neek had a raid from Epic. Yeah, like
D-Nice literally is the first person that kind of rated me and like kind of helped me build this. It's kind of what Club Insomnia was kind of built off of, like Club Quarantine.
Was D-Nice, yeah?
Yeah, the first night, the night after he did like that, when we had like Michelle Obama and like 190,000 people. Yeah, the next day I was on the phone with him and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play for an hour. I'll send people your way." And I didn't understand what that meant, but I just like started turned on my IG Live and I had like 25,000 people in there. And I was like, dude, I was like a Jared Headlights. It looked like I did not know what to do. But that's kind of how the thing built, and that's how that kind of following like kind of went up, and then the whole thing was built. So shout to him.
He was on the phone. He's like, "I'm gonna send people your way." You're like, "Right on. I'm gonna send people your way too. Have a nice night."
I'll send them right back to you.
Is that the new? That's how we say goodbye.
Have your people your way. Yeah. Damn, man. Yeah. Props to you, man. We love to hear a good success story on here, especially in the streaming universe, because it's fucking grueling sometimes. You're in there, you're playing for 2-3 people. I was just playing for Neek one night. We're laughing, telling jokes. I got to raid from 4 Color Zach for 250 people. It changes your whole fucking week, man.
It does.
It changes everything. It's such a good film. You have like you have like 100 people in there and or 200, and it's like you're playing shit that you love and they're in there fucking commenting on shit and like you're reading. It's this dope. It's a great feeling. Again, I feel like it changed a lot of DJs' lives in the way we approach our craft.
Yeah.
Like there are records that I'm incorporating into my nightclub sets and my event sets and stuff, and it's
it works, man. And M.O.S. is living proof. Before we get you out of here, one last question that we like to ask. We have the 5 on 5 podcast Spotify playlist. You can add one song to the playlist from your contribution. It can be any song. What song do people need to hear right now?
Old or new?
Anything.
Old or new.
Okay. This is a random one. This is a slow record. It's a slow jam. Stevie Wonder's Superwoman.
Yeah.
That to me is one of the greatest. This is the best Stevie Wonder song ever made, and I think it's a song that transitions it to another song in the middle.
That's I'm trying to think if that's on Intervisions or Songs in the Key Superwoman is
Intervisions.
I'm 90% sure it's Intervisions.
Yeah, I think it's on Intervisions, but it's again one of the greatest. I mean, it's like everything that everyone loves about Stevie. It's the chord progressions. It's
Music
just
of
like
My Mind.
Oh, it's on Music of My Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like
Is that a compilation?
Yeah, it's like a greatest hits, I think. Or no, I'm thinking Musicarium. Music of My Mind is that's all. That's right. You're good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of the greatest songs I've I play it every night. Like I usually end my sets with it. If you guys have never heard the song, please listen to it from beginning to end. Oh, yeah. You will not be disappointed.
We appreciate your time, man.
It's really good too. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's a heater.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, M.O.S, the absolute fucking legend, man. We have to have you back. You have so many. There's so much we didn't even get to touch on.
Nah, we have to have Wifey next.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We have her next.
Yeah.
And then we have both.
Yeah.
I We should let her talk.
What we will do is we will have you be the referee. You'll pick the 5-on-5 for her, and then because you know her better than anyone musically too, and then we'll really put her in the ringer as far as picking.
I don't know who she's gonna pick, but anyway, yeah.
Hell yeah. We appreciate you, man. We're so happy to see. Of course, we're so happy to see everything working out for the live stream. For Club Insomnia. Make sure you guys please go check that out. M.O.S. is doing his fucking thing.
Hell yeah.
And that's the point I want to drive home. Make sure you check out Heartbeat. This guy is going to be everywhere. You're seeing him in Hollywood. He's about to be on your screen everywhere. So we want to give you your flowers and say thank you. We will be back next week with special guest Codes, another New York DJ, our guy Cody Codes, to talk some house music. And everyone stay safe. Go get your booster. Go get your vax if you haven't.
Go check out Spider-Man No Way Home.
Go check out Spider-Man.
Let's go.
No Way Home.
Okay. Go check out episode 5 of Hawkeye. How about that?
Real.
Hawkeye.
That was the one. That was the one. That was the one.
Trav's co-signing a movie that he hasn't even seen yet on the way out. That's how.
I'm same. I'm right there with him.
I got more people co-signing with me. All right.
I'm co-signing it.
It's gonna be a hit. All right. Enough free promo. We're out of here. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.